Oh, you're funny. Let's get things popping. Let's get things going. We live yet? We definitely live over there. I didn't want to be in prom. No wonder you needed to update. I wanted to be in. Oh, you know what time that is? You know what that means? Let's go. It's time to start the show. It is time to start the show. Come on. Come on. Fucks with your boy. No. Get me the fuck off the screen. What's going on here? Ay, coño, puñeta. Tell you, sometimes like you just can't help but to get the technical difficulties, can we? You just can't help it, can we? Sometimes you do everything right, think everything is ready, but you get ready to start, and one thing just wants to act out of pocket, and now the whole production is all fucked up. See what you're doing to me? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Like if you're not gonna play, at least remove yourself. Why does it say that you're playing? This is gonna be annoying. This is gonna be super annoying because you know what? I'm gonna have to restart the video feed. Yeah, I know. We're talking about like we're talking about like shows so big, like we even feel like naming it properly. But we got a big show for you guys today. We're talking about we got NBA draft, we got Conor McGregor coming up. We didn't even get into the Conor McGregor stuff. That's how wild things have been. We didn't even get into the Conor McGregor stuff. We got the Jew interview we got to get into. We'll get into that a little bit more. But can we get our intro finally? This is the MyT Sports Podcast. It's been a while. Let's get it. Good woo evening and welcome back to another edition of the MyT Sports Podcast. I'm your host, the one and only talent, El Idolo Deportivo Taylor. I'll pick it up, flip it, I'm reversing my back. I am the one and only talent, New Year, save the beer, Taylor. It is a never and fuego day in the hottest city in the world. We're coming at you live and direct, the stone's throw away from Miami. Now we're coming at you from Palm Beach County now. We recorded the sucker in Palm Beach County now. I don't think you guys have seen the new studio lately. Like, I don't think you guys have had that opportunity. Like, it's popped up here and there, but I don't think you guys have really and truly gotten a good opportunity to see the new studio. Like, we've been doing a lot of shorties lately. We have been doing a lot of shorties. We got a big show for you guys because you know what? We had to move. We got to get the new studio set up. We had to get things right. I know you guys can see now the ambiance is finally set. The ambiance, right? The ambiance is finally set. All right, we got a big show for you guys. If you guys were listening to the beginning of the show where we had a little hiccup as before we started, you guys already know what's coming up. We got NBA draft to get into. Definitely, don't NBA draft. There we go. We got NBA draft to get into. We got some talks about Conor McGregor. We didn't even get into that yet as we continue with our NBA news. We got the Jew interview. I ain't gonna lie. Like as a Knicks fan, I feel like I was obligated to listen to this thing, to listen to this interview, and I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I listened to the Jew interview. We got the Blue Chew promo code for you guys. That's already scrolled at the bottom of the ticker. You see it in the back of the screen, right? Go ahead and use that promo code, and you're able to get yourself your first free order of Blue Chew for free. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. We got our birthday shots coming at the beginning of the podcast. So if I tagged you earlier, you guys already know you about to get a birthday shout out coming up pretty soon. Not just that though. If you guys know anybody that got a birthday, right? That happened on Saturday, that happened on Sunday, that's happening today. You go ahead and you start tagging them, right? You start adding them, right? You start popping them up. You start popping their names up, right, in our chat lines, and we will go ahead and give them a birthday shout out. Everything should be linked, so you guys, if you guys give them a birthday shout out, we'll go ahead and pop that. You'll see that information pop up here on the screen, and we will shout them out for you guys. Oh, you don't forget, we got Dame Dollars to talk about. Even though I feel like this has been a conversation. Whoa, that's low. I don't know if everything came through properly on the mic, but even I feel like we've been having this conversation with Dame Dollar for the last couple of years. It actually finally feels like it's going to be a real destination for your boy. We're going to talk about that. Golden State Warriors pleased Draymond Green. MJ sells the team. Carlisha found not guilty. We're going to talk about that. Y'all don't even know who that is. Courtney freaking Vandersloot. Danger zone. Danger zone. And speaking of danger zone, Paul George to New York. Danger zone. Danger zone. Like I said, we got so much to talk about as we are coming down to about the last 5 episodes of the season. I hope you guys are ready. I'm ready. Back at it like a sports fanatic. Your boy, MyT Sports. You know what they say, regardless of the time, regardless of the weather. We back at it like a sports fanatic. Your boy, MyT Sports. Man, let's start talking. Woo! I'm telling you, I get these chills. I get these quivers through my body. I get these feelings in my bones. But before we start the sports, hey, yo, DJ MyT, do me a favor. Can you start with the birthdays? Can we start with the birthday shout-outs? Pull that up for me. Now, for everybody that's new here to the birthday shout-outs, right? This is what I want you to do. I want you to grab your 40, grab your order, grab your split. We're going to do a little something now. Listen, you grab your drink. You grab your blunt. You grab your steamrollers. Where's my ashtray? But you grab your blunts. You grab your joints. You grab your steamrollers. You grab your bongs. You grab your beers. You grab your shots of liquor. Maybe you pour yourself a real one. You know what I mean? Some J-Mo, some tequila, some vodka straight with with some club soda and a whole lot of some vodka water with a whole lot of lemons. Got distracted. I was thinking about somebody. Damn. Yo, not the way that. Sorry. My mind wandered. my mind. I'm like, yo, I just realized I haven't heard from somebody all day. I don't know how I was giving out birthday shout outs. I haven't heard from somebody all day. I had no idea. Did I remember the hit send? Hold on a second. Did I remember the hit send? Let's see something. I definitely did hit send. Oh yeah, if you're on my Facebook page, we're doing birthday shout outs. My birthday's coming up on July 17th. We're a little bit more like 3 weeks out. On my Facebook, I'm doing a fundraiser again to vettix.org. I'm gonna have a link here next year. I thought I had a link here before. I'm gonna get a link here next year for all my veterans to make sure that we're able to get you guys connected with vettix.org. That thing is beautiful. Run that back. Run that back. When I say alrighty. It's sing-song time because yeah, it's your birthday. We said it's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. But because it's your birthday, we sing happy birthday. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Hey, yo, this is what we do at the beginning. At the beginning of every show, what we like to do here is give a little birthday shout out to everybody that had a birthday. Because the last time that we was on the air, or last time we were supposed to be on the air, depending on how we feel. We were supposed to be on the air last time was on Friday. I don't know what happened on Friday. I think I just enjoyed life Friday. I think I enjoyed nothing. I think I had nothing planned for the weekend. And I was like, nothing starts your weekend sooner than doing nothing on Friday night. So we did nothing. So we got our birthday shout outs from Saturday, Sunday, and also today. So you guys already know how this goes. If you know anybody that got a birthday shout out, 24th, 25th, 26th, you go ahead and start dropping their names down in the comments. You start dropping some orange and blue hearts, right? And we will go ahead and we'll get them their birthday shout outs as well throughout the show. If they happen to miss the birthday shout out, we'll give them a special shout out. We'll drop them a special line. This is from you to them. You know what I mean? All that special stuff. We'll throw roses in the air. Digital roses, you know what I mean? We'll throw roses in the air, make sure they feel special. We'll give them a rap dance, digital rap dance, right? We'll play inside their pants, digital pants, right? And we'll make sure that they have a great birthday, digital birthday. All right. So please join me, right? We got birthdays for the whoa. See, you almost fucked up. We got birthdays for the 24th. I want to say happy birthday to one of my homegirls, Christine Dubre Rance. I want to say happy birthday to you, and you can catch her at one of your local watering holes. I forget what she's at these days. Is she at Shorty's? Or is she at Tap 42? She's at one of them. But you can catch her at one of your local watering holes in the Coral Springs area. Right? You go ahead and have happy birthday. Make sure y'all make sure y'all give Christina a happy birthday. And if y'all see her, right? Make sure y'all buy her a birthday drink. It's birthday time. Also, we have birthdays for the 25th, right? Wait, I didn't even say anything yet. Funny. Want to say happy birthday to one Josh Stark. Yo. AKA the Clown King. AKA, I'm forgetting the actual. Wait. No, I don't have it here. Wait. No, I don't. Shit. Wait. Let's see. Nah. Right there. Chuckles. Happy birthday, Josh Stark, aka Chuckles. I knew I was like, yo, I know I'm forgetting your name. I'm like, yo, I've called too many of you back. I've had the pleasure of calling. Yo, he is such a talented brother. I'm telling you right now. If any wrestling, let me make sure I get back in camera, right? Let's do this. Right? Any wrestling promoters, right, that are out there looking to sign some talent, right? to one of your shows, you go ahead and you get the Clown King chuckles, right? From Bah Ha 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 La. I want to say happy birthday to John. No, I do mean it. Wait, is he on another one of these? Chuckles. Y'all sign him. And maybe that one's a little bit better picture, right? Maybe that one's better. Maybe that one's better, right? Get him in there, right? Happy birthday, Josh Stark. Wait, I think I got another one back here. Is there another one back here? Wait a minute. I ain't done yet. We ain't done yet. Where's he at? Is he on here? This one got a lot of people on there. He better be on here. Is he not on the one of them? On the only one that got like 52 people on there? You on there for Summer Meltdown in 2021? Nope. Chuckles. The Clown King. Sign him. Josh Stark. Happy birthday. Wait, there's one more. Is there one more? He doubles up somewhere? We got him on there, right? We got him on Season Beatings 4. Which one was this? Season Beatings 3, he was there. Let's see. We got him on Summer Meltdown, so this is the last one. Which one is this? Oh, put your ass over there. Oh, yeah, he gotta be on this one. Oh, no. This is Hollow Slam. He got to be here. There he go again. Chuckles. Right? Y'all make sure y'all sign him. Y'all, listen, if any promotions out there is looking for somebody that's not only can he be entertaining to the kids, he can also be the kids' worst nightmare. But he's engaging with the audience. He knows how to perform. The audience will engage. You will not be disappointed. Happy birthday, Josh Storm. I want to say happy birthday. Also want to say happy birthday to my homeboy Ariak. I know it feels a little. Yeah. After what I just gave Chuckles, I know it'd be like, yo, damn, that's all I get. My bad, Ariak. I've known Ariak for years now. I know that. I met Ariak the first year I moved in Florida. So you're talking about like since 2007. It's been like 16 years now. He's up in Orlando somewhere. Little man is grown the fuck up. I really thought he was about to be an Olympian at one point in time, but still, he's doing big things out there. Once he had a birthday to my boy Ariak, he had a birthday yesterday. All right, can we get a little big up for him? A little side. All right, then also we have birthdays today, right? We got birthdays today. And I would like to say happy birthday to one of my homegirls, Alina Rodriguez. Can I tell you your sister's an angel? But also, I don't want to take away from your birthday. It's your birthday, so hopefully you're with your sister. Y'all having some margaritas somewhere, some margaritas. Right? Y'all both mothers, right? So no longer margaritas, it's margaritas. Right? That's what y'all have, and just enough to get yourself tipsy, but keep staying responsible enough to be able to watch the kids. Margaritas, right? So go be happy enjoying some margaritas with your sister. Not today, at least over the weekend. I tell her I love her and bless her heart. She is an angel. She is a blessing. Right, so let's go ahead and bring them all back into the room. Let's get them all in here, right? We go ahead and wish them all a happy birthday. Let's hope they party hard. Let's go see if they can regret nothing. They enjoy everything. But more importantly, they continue to stay MyT. Whip one for your boys and girls. For your bros. A bro. Shit. Oh. One more time. Because it's your birthday. We said it's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. But because it's your birthday, we sing happy birthday. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Ayo, DJ MyT, cut that beat. Woo, how to get that off my chest. Not just the weed, but the birthday shout-outs. It's been a while. I ain't gonna lie. It's been a while since we've really just sat here and I'm scratching the shit out of my balls in case you guys are watching on the camera. Like, yo, is this I'm over here? Yeah. Yo, but it's been a while since we've been able to sit here and just enjoy a nice podcast with each other, right? have a good beer, have a nice drink, have a nice smoke, and just talk some sports. It's been a while. We had a move, we had a transition, and we're gonna be here at the studio to finish out the season. We will not be at Sharky's to finish out the year. I don't know yet. I have to commandeer a new spot, so I probably won't be at Sharky's to finish out the year. Maybe. And that's part of the reason why you guys haven't had a show, because like a couple of times I went to Sharky's. I don't quite know what to set up there. Things have been kind of hectic. We've had NBA playoffs. We have none of that anymore. No more moves, no more NBA playoffs, nothing to distract us. So what we have now is just raw sports we're talking about. And you guys know I like it raw. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. I'm from Brooklyn Zoo. Shame on you. I likes it raw. And listen, if we're going to start you know what? Let's start. So I wasn't going to start here. But this is outside of sports. Oh, happy birthday to Derek Jeter as well. Only reason I even know that is because something just happened to him recently. So I guess it's story time then on the MyT Sports Podcast. We haven't had story time in a while, but I think we may get a story time today. Actually, I'm lying. I am so lying. But and you know why I know I'm lying? Because I feel like we get a story time almost every podcast. Excuse me, dead ass. I feel like we get a story time every single podcast. I'm about to make a proper story time opener. You guys know how it's gonna go, right? So it's gonna be simple. Story time with the MyT Sports Podcast. You know, then I find some flashback sound or whatever. Where's it at? Hold on. I think I can do this live on air. Oh my goodness. Right, but we're gonna get into a story that's beyond sports. And it popped up on my radar, and I was gonna bring it in somewhere else in the show. But I just think, let's just get it out in the first topic of the day. Right? First of all, things first. Carlisha Hood was found not guilty today. All right? And if you don't know who Carlisha Hood is, right? You got the moment to go. Now, this is our Google story of the day, right? Google need to sponsor this, right? You know what? I'm gonna see if I can get a search engine sponsor for my story time. Because go look up the story, right? Go search the story up. Go look up the name Carlisha Hood. Carl Ishia. That's how people spell it. Hood. And so, the reason I mentioned that they got found not guilty today, they were originally found guilty for the shooting of one Jeremy Brown, where the 14-year-old son, while they were waiting in the store, went and shot Jeremy Brown, and they were found guilty. Now you're wondering, like, damn, if that's the case, how did they end up being not guilty? Well, circumstances, my dear friend, circumstances. If they had continued to be found not guilty, we would have come on this show with a completely different set of energy, right? But this is one of those times, and this is one of those times where I know we hate technology sometimes where it goes, because it always goes too far. Like we do everything in human society, like everything that we do for good, it always gets taken too far, and somebody always has to always try to take advantage of it. Gender and age. I'm gonna leave it at that. So those are just two examples. So what ended up happening here is that Carlisha Hood and her son is sitting in the store, whatever, they're in line, and her and Carlisha Hood and Jeremy Brown are going back and forth. And without being touched or physically provoked, Jeremy Brown balls up his fist, literally cocks it all the way back, and wham! Punches her in the face. Then cocks it back. Yo, when he does this, it was 3 dudes in that video that ran out that store. Like, my name is Bennett and I ain't in it. But that was some bitch ass shit. Cocks back again. Wham! Cocks back again. Wham! Rinse, recycle, repeat. Rinse, recycle, repeat. Rinse, recycle, repeat. She's catching a beat down. Like, we're talking about Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold. Son sees this, says, oh no, my mama. Not my mama. Goes to the core and starts doing his best. His Sorry, I don't mean to laugh about this. I'm laughing at my idiocy for what I'm about to do during this moment. And does his best John Morant impersonation. And lets off a clip in Mr. Brown. Now Mr. J. Brown is sitting there. Oh, shit. Little nigga shot me. And initially, when the report first came out and when they first passed their verdict, when you first heard it, they were, and obviously you heard, charged with the murder of Jeremy Brown. Obviously, part about technology that you gotta love today is that not only are there cameras everywhere, so you no longer have to worry about Mr. Convenience Store owner just having a camera up in the corner to make it look like there's a deterrent, like that there's security there to help deter crime and criminal activity. Or you have a camera there and Mr. Store owner has been threatened and doesn't want to cooperate with the police because of fear of his life or what may happen to his family. Now everybody's recorded. Everybody's paparazzi. Everybody thinks they're Channel 6 News. Everybody thinks they're TMZ. Everybody is out here creating free content for World Star. And also we literally now have cameras in every corner. We have cameras in lights. We have cameras in banks. We have cameras across the street, on top of buildings, everywhere. The camera caught it perfectly. Like I said, rinse, recycle, repeat, rinse, recycle, repeat, rinse, recycle, repeat. iRobot, right? Put it all on camera. Saw that he wailed on her, unphysically provoked. Son was protecting, in Son's defense, this is self-defense of his mother's livelihood. Obviously, automatically. Like, just imagine this going to trial, right? This going to trial. And you have a jury of your peers or not, but everybody got a mama. Unless you just absolutely hate your mama. Hey, just the fact of the point of anybody wailing on your mama like that, and you have the means to stop them. Now, granted, see, the only difference between nowadays and back in the days, now everybody has a gun. Back in the day, that probably would have been like a baseball bat or a metal pipe, and he would have took it to the back of that dude's head. He would have, and the next thing you know, it would have been, you are not worthy. They call me Big John Stud, middle name Mud. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. So, in a weird way, it's not in a weird way. In a very happy way, I'm glad to hear that this was worked out accordingly. Because, like I said, that wouldn't have been our tone. If we would have found, like, yo, son, mother found guilty for them, I'm like, yo, what? Like, would have been like, what are you supposed to do in that moment? Let him keep wailing, be like, no, stop, don't. 911. I have an angry black man. Oh, like what abuse? It didn't come to that. It did not come. I forgot what my story time was about. Right? It did not come to that, and it just happened that things worked out. Let's get into it. Let's continue. Let's continue. I think we spent enough time there. Is that the 10-minute one? That's the 10-minute one. I'm telling you, I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to do better for you guys. Season 9 is around the corner. I hope you guys realize this. I know you want to like, damn, you talking about season 8's about to be over. Yeah, season 9 is right around the corner in my head. Like you talking about like it's September. But we couldn't leave here without talking about the NBA draft. See, we're not as lucky as your regular radio show that you may listen to, right? These guys record all year. They get these little bits of downtime. Normally during this down season of sports. When I say down season of sports, there's only baseball on, right? They normally, this is when they take their vacation, right, and have other people fill in. There's no fill-ins here. We do a whole complete reset. Season 9 of MyT Sports Podcast comes to you in September. Stay tuned. I'm gonna exploit y'all in season 9. I'm gonna have like a little QR code so you guys can like donate and give me money and shit. Right? We got to do better, my people. Honestly, just don't forget to share, follow the podcast. Make sure you like this episode. Currently, share this episode. Don't be stingy. Don't listen to this shit alone, right? And also make sure that you're following, right? Click that little subscribe, that little subscribe button so that you can hear that bing bong every time that that little. That's so you get that little bing bong every time that we go on. And if you're catching it live, if you want to catch it in the read here, just listen. This where podcast is anywhere that's listen to podcasts at. YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcast, Pandora, wherever you want it. Kind of like American Express. Kinda. Let's get into the first topic of the day, right? Let's get into our first topic. That was our MyT topic of the day, right? Like I said, that just supersedes. But let's get into our first topic of the day, which happens to be the NBA draft. I'm sorry, like danger zone. What the hell was that? The NBA draft. Was that not the longest NBA draft in NBA draft history? Is it because it was such a big spectacle about who was going to be picked with the number 1 overall pick that they figured this year's show could be dragged on? Because, which I don't understand, because I'm figuring like after the first 4 or 5 picks, like what else were you watching? For most people, right? The average person, like what were you really watching? I know me for a fact. I was ready to go to bed. The first round finished, and I was like, wait, what time is it? It made me start to wonder. All right. Thank you, Ariak. Appreciate it. Happy birthday to you. It made me wonder. You missed the birthday shots at the beginning of the podcast if you're watching right now, Ariak. But listen, I got some problem. Right? Hold on. Because yeah, it's your birthday. We said it's your birthday. Happy birthday, party hard, enjoy everything, regret nothing, and continue to stay MyT. Sing happy birthday because it's your birthday. Basic birthday songs. I had to create something, right? It's better than what's already out there. All that shit's copywritten. But still, I'm over here wondering, like, it made me really question myself, in a sense. Because now I'm sitting here wondering, wait a minute, is the NBA draft normally 2 days? Because I could swear that the draft is normally done by now. Or the second round is normally being almost wrapped up by now. I'm like, the first round is just now finished? I was really questioning, like, wait a minute, is the draft, NBA draft a 1 day or is it a 2 day event? I'm like, nah, It's only one day, right? First and second, it's a 1 day event. NFL draft is a 3 day event. Like, baseball is well, who cares, right? But I was like, wait a minute. It was that freaking long. It was that freaking long for something. Ultimately, I really don't think most people paid much attention to past the first 5 picks. And you know what? Maybe it's the Nick in me. Maybe it's the Nick in me. Maybe it's this nigga right here. Right? Maybe it's because of this nigga right here. Because normally as a Knicks fan, right? You know Nicker. Like Jazz fans are Jazzer, Heat fans are Heaters, right? Bulls fans are Bullers. Or bullshitters, they're Bullers. Knickers. Don't try that around the wrong company. You fuck around, get your shit spoiled. Maybe it's me. Because for the first time in a really, really long time, not only did the New York Knicks finish in a position where I'm not too particularly concerned about who they're drafting because it's not high and it is not going to be looked at as immediately or looked at as to be immediately impactful. They weren't in that level of the draft. Based off where they finished the season, they would be lower in the draft. Based off of their transactions over the last couple of years to bring in Josh Hart, to bring in Jalen Brunson, they actually didn't have a draft pick this year at all. The only potential for a draft pick this year would have been coming from Dallas if Dallas didn't tank at the end of the season just for a .00000000000000000000001% chance to draft Victor. What about your mama? Yeah, you can blow smoke up on that one too. So, without any surprise to anybody, and when I say without any surprise to anybody, I do mean anybody that has paid even a slight no, I didn't have it. Again, brain fart. But even kept a slight eye on the NBA draft. Just a little bit. Not even a full eye. Like a side eye. A half a side eye. Like actually it's in your peripheral and you're not even turning your eye. It's just, okay. You can't help but notice the 7'6" prospect with the 8-foot wingspan that was named Victor What About Your Mama has come out of France that they've been talking about since the last 2 years. They've deemed him the biggest prospect ever in the NBA draft. Over LeBron James, over Michael Jordan, over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, over Larry Bird, over Magic Johnson, over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I wanted to say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for last on that one. Highest prospect over all of them. They said if LeBron James would have been in this draft, LeBron James would have went second. Damn. I wish LeBron James would have went second in his draft. Actually, at this point, I really just wish Carmelo Anthony would have went second in his draft. I'm actually content now with LeBron James going first to Cleveland. What I really needed to happen was Carmelo Anthony to go to Detroit. Man, listen, you know what? Out of all of the weird things I get mad at the fact that the Flash never brings us to the timeline where Carmelo Anthony gets drafted second. I want to be in that timeline. Like, whoever grew up in that multiverse, I wonder how great LeBron James would be. Like, seriously. Think about the multiverse, right? The timeline that has Carmelo Anthony going second to Detroit. Think what that timeline looks like. Carmelo Anthony never has that weird stint where he's out of the league. That move to Miami looks even more crucial now, right? You're like, damn. As those boys in Detroit start to wear down and LeBron James is starting his come up with Miami and they clash, maybe they split, right? But now at this point, we got Dwayne Wade with one, Melo with a couple, them trying, like, how, like, maybe it's me, maybe I'm selfish. I need to get back on track. But I get mad that Barry has not brought us to the multi. What's going on? G has not brought us to the multiverse. Where, and what do you remember? Maybe Barry already messed it up. Maybe we're in the multiverse where Barry messed up. Where maybe Melo did go second, and then he messed up things, and now Melo ended up going third. Does that mean that in the universe where Melo goes second, that the planet is destroyed early? Like one of these doomsday days that people always, apocalypse days, everybody's like, oh, the world's gonna end on. Does that happen? How did we get here? Overall draft picks prospects. Victor Wadambayu. Listen, if I'm not gonna call him "What About Your Mama," it's gonna be Adam Bayou with a wham in front of it. Wyman Bayou. Like that's all I got. So Victor, what about your mom? Wembanyama. And you know what? That's actually not that bad when you actually look at it and take the time out to like enunciate and like use your vowels and your words. It's actually not that bad. But whoever said that we were completely sensible here on this podcast. So like I said, without any surprise to anybody, on the first overall pick, the San Antonio Spurs draft Victor. Let's take a look at it again. Wembanyama. What about your mom? Who has a very hot sister, by the way. I know you guys saw that. I'm like, yo, are my tits showing? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And we are looking. And we are looking. If you wanted to pop out the cleavage, it means you wanted it to be seen. We were looking. Not surprised. Only thing I was surprised about is how long it took for them to announce the pick. Because this was one of these drafts. I told you. Once they were on the clock, I didn't want to wait 2, 3 minutes, 4, 5. No. Sorry. This isn't one of those drafts where you're looking at like, damn, the guy beneath him is really good, but this dude is happens like to be the 7-footer and the what if and blah, 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 blah. Like this isn't Kevin Durant and whatever his name was. This isn't Michael Jordan and whatever his name was. This isn't Carmelo Anthony and whatever his name was. Right? This isn't any of those. This is the big man actually coming out. He's really fucking skilled. Like, he's really about that life. Like, damn. Like, have you seen him work? If they have him listed as a center, he's basically Kevin Durant-ish. He's at least who's a level below Kevin Durant as a big man. I just realized something. Hold on. Who is a level below Kevin Durant as a big man, he's at least Kristaps Porzingis, which just may be the last time you hear me pronounce his name properly for the podcast purposes. Maybe he's him. He's Jared Jeffries? Nah, he's better than Jared Jeffries. He's taking his pick. Ball. He's basically a 7'5" ball. 7'5" Kevin Durant? Somewhere along those lines. Between Ball, and Kevin Durant. Between Kristaps Porzingis and Kevin Durant. He's kind of there. Not quite sure of how fluid he's really going to be yet, but he's not going to be guarded by guards. He's not going to have better handle work. He's going to be guarded against other doofy-looking centers. Imagine Mitchell Robinson trying to guard him out on the wing. Which, listen, not for nothing. What we've seen Victor do, we've seen Mitchell Robinson do in training. We see him practice that way. We've seen him open up a little bag that you're like, what the hell is he doing? Is this handles? Is this 3-point shots? Are these fadeaways? Are these leaners? But that's not his role. What if Mitchell Robinson has that in his bag? Now, the thing is going to be difficult, right, as Victor Wembanyama goes first. And I'm speaking strictly from like a Knicks point of view. Is your big man being stretched out to the 5? Your big man having to guard, out to the perimeter. And I know for Mitchell Robinson, he has a problem with that. Because on defense, he's such a rim protector, he gravitates to the rim automatically. And shooting big men when he's matched up against them kill him. Right? When Miami decided to go ahead and put Kevin Love on him and play small. Right? Or get him switched out to Kevin Love. Don't leave Kevin Love open. The Knicks as a whole, right, which I think maybe just a Tom Thibodeau mentality. It's one of the few times I can actually blame the coach for this. Where I think that their mentality is to clog the paint. So for those big men that their muscle memory, right, or their programming so far is to gravitate towards the paint to protect it, they're going to leave Victor wide open for a lot of threes. But this is if he plays center. Who knows where he's going to end up playing? Not to say that he not going to play center, but Kevin Durant for years never wanted to be listed as 7 foot because he wanted to stay at small forward. With his size and his frame, who knows? What if Victor wants to go to small forward? Like, that's going to be the ridiculous part. Because you're going to have to find a mismatch somewhere. You're going to have to try like, I can't shoot over him at small forward. He's going to render all small forwards useless. What if they start being there trying to go around him? He could cover that up with defense. Power forwards, maybe to bully him a little bit. Centers. This is already the intrigue. This is what makes him the number 1 pick. What I just ran you through, that because of his frame, maybe he wants to be like Kevin Durant and play small forward. What if he's playing small forward? Who the fuck is shooting over that? They say that he's the only guy that can drop in coverage, guard the 3-pointer, right? No. From the corner 3, be able to guard the 3-pointer and the rim at the same time. One of the few guys that on a pick and roll can guard the shooter and guard the roller to the rim. They've shown him to not just have a nice touch on his jumper, mid-range, 3-point shot, fadeaway, post. They showed him with the whole bag on offense. But also a willing defender. We saw that from Porzingis early too. So with most prospects, right, especially those of his frame, we look at him like right now as the only thing that could hold you back is going to be yourself and injuries. And from how it sounds, he wants to be great. From how it sounds, he wants to put in the work to make sure that when he's done, his name is not just in the Rafters for the team that he played for, but his name is also edged in the storyline of NBA greatness. You hear that coming from him. And his sister's kind of cute too. Let me stop. I wonder how Nandi's going. Now, the fact that he goes to the San Antonio Spurs is also another big icing on the cake for him. Because if there was a franchise for him to go to that we thought would treat him right, it's the San Antonio Spurs. If it's still a good organization you thought that he could go to that you may get the best out of him, it's San Antonio Spurs. Because honestly, we're not feeling comfortable or we're not feeling comfortable or so overly positive about his career if he's going to Charlotte Hornets. Where they have no leadership and no development, it looks like. I don't think we're thinking this if he's going, maybe if he goes to Portland. Because he has Damian Lillard there to guide him. See, you're stupid. My phone is funny. If he goes to Rockets, we don't feel the same. If he goes to Detroit, we don't feel the same. He goes to Orlando, maybe because they have Paulo Banchero there. Maybe because of him. But you understand, for some of these places we're talking about in the top of the draft, it's not because we have faith in the organization so far. It's because we have faith that one guy that they have there already, maybe the mature enough person in the room to make sure that this guy doesn't fall off track early. Pacers? Maybe them. Wizards? Utah, they have it. Dallas, they have it. OKC, yeah. Toronto, yeah. But now we're talking about the bottom of the draft, right? We're talking about even a lower. Toronto, Pelicans, maybe. But I don't think we're this overly confident, so overly confident and positive about his career if it's not for the fact that he's going to San Antonio. He's going to Greg Popovich. Not only this is an organization and a man that has had 2 Hall of Famers under his wing already, right? But now has an opportunity to develop another. And then not only that, just think about this. He has had 3 different types of power forwards or big men now, right? A bruiser, a bruiser like the Admiral. Then a more of a shooter with some finesse and skill, footwork, still with the rebound, still with some physicality, being able to stretch out that shot a whole lot more, all the way up to the three-point line. By the time it was required for his for where the game had gotten to, where he based off the stage of his career where he was at too. And now getting somebody that is fully raised, right, and molded by the Stephen Curry era. And what do you mean by the Stephen Curry? He's a big man. Well, the Stephen Curry means that everybody shoots threes. And everybody jacks up shots. Everybody better know how to shoot threes. But you know the crazy thing about it? The Europeans are looking at this like we've always had this skill set. It's just that when we came to play in the NBA, you wanted to pigeonhole us to some low post person, and I'm like, be more physical. And now all of you want what we have. Fundamentals, pick and roll, 3-point shots, understanding of the game on a higher level of just like, hey, look, I'm big, I'm tall, I'm athletic. Look what I can do, mommy. Boom. So no surprise that Victor Wanyama went first. It actually puts us now in a moment of suspended animation, right? Like, we're anxious now, right? A moment of anxiousness where I'm ready for Summer League. Summer League starts like sometime in July, beginning of July. I'm ready for Summer League. I'm ready to see what Victor looks like on NBA levels. Started with the Summer League level. Then you get preseason, and then we get to the regular season. And like I said, I know it's June, but I'm already looking forward to October. Just when I say October's right around the corner. If I'm already talking about the beginning of the podcast is already here, and that's beginning of September. Best believe October. I believe October is right around the corner too, because I'm already prepared for my Halloween costume. The NBA season starts before Halloween, so I'm already preparing for that, to get that in order. Yes, mentally I'm already prepared. I'm already prepared for the next season. I'm ready to see what the drama is, the next set of storylines, and to see the next great one possibly make their come up. And what I like is that we don't hear the story of, oh, he's like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's the next Shaq, which I'm surprised about, right? Because we're so infamous for doing this, right? And we do this so easily with our guards. Why are we doing this with this big man? Why is nobody calling this big man the next Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? The next big man to break the all-time scoring record, because he could possibly do that. I don't believe that Kevin Durant is that next guy, because I don't believe Kevin Durant can stay healthy enough. It baffles me so often that people are still on the page that Kevin Durant, no, he can't. Kevin Durant is still only good for like 60 games a year. So unless he plans on putting in 22 years or 20 years, he's going to need every single minute, every single year, just to try to catch LeBron James, who is still setting the all-time scoring record as we speak right now, as he prepares for Taco Tuesday. Coming soon. Shout out to the San Antonio Spurs. Shout out to Greg Popovich. This just means that Greg Popovich is coaching until he's 159 years old. Hey, yo. I'm not even going to put this in the air where my thought pattern just went to. But hey, yo. Just know if the season starts and this AO moment comes to fruition, I'm going to let y'all know what this AO moment is. If I never bring up this AO moment, oh, thank God. Because I don't want to bring up this AO moment ever. I don't ever want to have to reference this AO moment that I just had, that I refuse to share with you guys. But you know what I am willing to share with you guys? That is some blue chew, right? All these draft picks coming up right now, right? All these young, spry draft picks. They don't have to worry about performance issues. They have their whole career ahead of them, right? They're in the primes of their life. They don't have to worry about load management. Some of us do, and you know what? Some of us just like to party all the time. Well, regardless of what you do, Blue Chew is here for you. What is Blue Chew, you ask? Blue Chew just happens to be a little blue pill that can get you back your thrill. All you have to do is open up a... Whoa. Yeah, it's at the bottom. All you have to do is open up a pack and head straight to the sack. Just a few chews before you do. It has the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so this is one opportunity that you just can't miss. For a very low cost, you can beat it up like a boss, and she will love how you come through in it. She will love how you come through like a champ when you Blue Chew in advance. And if you use my promo code of GSSS, that's the sound she's going to make. right? GSSS. You can get your first order of Blue Chew for free. Yes, folks, for the free, 99. Only thing you gotta pay for is shipping and handling. That's it. Take care of your postal workers. Don't be stingy. Because when you get your Blue Chew, you're not going to be stingy with what you give her. We're talking about Lionel Richie all night long. We're talking about Ludacris. I'm going to lick you from your head to your toes, and then we're going to move from the bed down to the floor, and I'm going to. We're talking about that. You understand what we're talking about? Like all night, we're talking about LL Cool J's, how we're doing it and doing it and doing it well. We're talking about Baby Boy, Froggy style, down the bathroom hallway, like go back to bed. You ain't need to see none of this. Stop peeking. Oh man, like that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about like you're gonna have enough stamina to be like DMX, like Brenda, Keisha, Felicia, Tisha, about 3 Kims, Amanda, Felicia. You can do all of them in one night. Don't you? Because listen, if you still have an erection after 4 hours, like they say, you will need Brenda, Felicia, Amanda, and Tisha. You better call all your eaters. We can call all of them. But like, hey, listen, don't be surprised when you get here. Just go along with it, and just have them go wild. Just lay there and have a reverse gangbang. Because when it comes to Blue Chew, there really is only 2 directions you need to know. You chew it, wait for it for about 20 minutes, if that, and then you do it. How you do it is up to you. You know, I like to listen to Wu-Tang. You know, I like to play Kung Fu. You know, Tiger style. I don't know what the fuck that was. I'm sorry. Let's continue with the NBA draft. Right? With the number 2 pick of the NBA draft, the Charlotte Hornets, with Jeffrey Jordan's the Black Cat, his Royal Highness himself, who was a horrible owner, drafts Brandon Miller from Alabama. The guy that was like Michael Jordan, who, yeah, I seen him airball like a free throw. Oh yeah, I could whoop Michael. This is when at some point in time you started realizing, oh, him and Mike talk. Mike is gonna draft him. He's talking. It's not that he was trying to get out of not being drafted by Charlotte. It was that he already knew he was being drafted by Charlotte, and Mike told him to probably told him to have some fun with it. You know what I mean? Like, listen, don't tell him I'm whack. Like, they talk shit about me. Make it humble. But I guarantee you, if Mike didn't tell him to say all that stuff precisely, Michael Jordan's gonna take him to the gym. Michael Jordan, at 94 years old, is gonna whoop his ass. Can you imagine Jordan at 90 years old still being like Vince McMahon, right? You calling me out? Oh, hold on. Wait, no, sorry. Michael Jordan's what? You calling me out? All right. Let's go. Right? you guys know Michael. You guys know that walk. You guys already know the walk I'm talking about. He's gonna chew his gum. He's gonna put the armband right around the forearm, and he's gonna go to work on him. Put him in the post and put him to work. But I like the prospect. I like the pick. Alabama recently has been showing themselves as a player in the basketball market as well, especially when they're now being able to take some of this NIL money, right, that they're already pulling from their football program, right? They're able to start reinvesting some of this money into their basketball program, and you're starting to see them over the last I want to say maybe like 5 years or so, right? Ever since my boy, Sexton, right, slowly put together a really good, and maybe that's why I just started noticing it. Maybe I'm talking up my ass, but this the way I feel. That this just don't, like, within the last 5 years, you started to put in a better basketball program, and you're starting to see the draft picks starting, because I didn't notice any high Alabama draft picks before then. In the past couple of years, I'm starting to notice them now. And then something even better happens, right? Because Brandon Miller from the Charlotte Hornets was the only player in the top 5 draft picks to be drafted out of college. Gotta love it. Do I got KJ's drop ready? Nope. Don't have it ready. But that is one of those things that, what was going to be my story time? I'm really upset I forgot about that story time. How was it tied in to this whole Paul George, the shooting of the thing lady? I still see I got the flashback music here. You know what I mean? Like, and it's supposed to be like, story time with the MyT Sports Podcast. Brought to you by Memories. And then you get a little story time. Yeah, it's gonna be something like that. So Brandon Miller goes to the Charlotte Hornets, and this is not Michael Jordan's final decision as an NBA owner. If you guys have not known, Michael Jeffrey Jordan has been in negotiations to complete the sale of the Charlotte, or basically has almost completed the sale of the Charlotte Hornets, where originally he invested about $275 million into the Hornets, and they are about to be sold for $3 billion. Which, goddamn, tenfold of your money. So that's which, to be honest with you, isn't surprising. Put some money in the bank. You could probably tenfold it in 13 years. I'll be surprised if you invested $3,000 that you can't get $30,000 out of it in 10 years. Yeah, I feel confident with that, saying that. Right? Like, find the right one. Like, yeah, put $3,000 into Apple right now. Let's see how you feel 13 years from now. All right, like, for people that would have put, actually, exactly that. For anybody that would have put $3,000, $300 into Apple, Amazon 13 years ago, you probably tenfolded your money too. I'm now not that impressed by him making $3 billion. Wait. Yeah, I'm not that impressed by him making $3 billion. That means you could invest in almost anything with $275 million. But that just shows you that the best investments in the world are still NBA franchises. Damn, how can we get in as the people? Can I get in on this one? Like, yo, I'm telling you, I got $15 right now. I'm willing to drop on a WNBA team in South Florida. I'll crack open all the loose change I got. I'll certainly drop 10 grand on one right now. Don't play with me. So so this is his last thing. But so Michael Jordan, he makes $3 billion off of this sale. The comparison, though, right? While I say it in jest about it, it's an excellent investment, and I'm not joking about the fact that you can literally probably do that yourself, right? Or even on your scale. So it sounds impressive because of this. That's because of the scale of it. But when you do the ratio is probably normal. When you think about natural inflation, if you would have invested in the right stock, and he figured the right thing to invest in. I know some people think I'm crazy, but I honestly truly believe that. Look at Amazon, look at Apple, things like that. If you would have put your money there by then. What's going on, Mark? Been a minute, pimpin'. So we in a new spot, new studio, now new dwellings. And then we're coming out to like the last 4 episodes of the season. Okay, back to the sports. Now, for Michael Jordan, obviously, right, who we already know is a billionaire, he's made about over 1.5. I think it's like 1.8 maybe. $1.8 billion from Nike, Gatorade, and Hanes. So that's the significance of this sale, is that his lifetime earnings so far, through Gatorade, Nike, and Hanes, has been $1.8 billion. This sale right here, 13 years later, he's making $2,750,000,000 profit on. He's literally doubling what he has made in his lifetime earnings in 13 years. And now if he wants, he can try to bring a WNBA team maybe to Charlotte. Maybe, you know what? I just realized what I'm about to do. I'm about to at Michael Jordan and be like, why don't you use some of that? Would you respectfully use some of that money and bring a... Stop it. Respectfully use some of that money and and open up a WNBA team down here in South Florida. I just want to work there. Let me work there, B. I don't care if I'm a garbage picker. As long as I'm making at least 42 an hour. 56. 69. Because you got to prepare for the off season. But gee willikers. Like, talking about just putting us. Yeah, fuck that. Story time is over. Alright. Number 3 pick. Alright, as we're talking about. Like, top 5 picks. Only one of them comes out of college. And that's the guy that comes out of Alabama, Brandon Miller, who's drafted by Michael Jordan and Charlotte Hornets. It's Michael Jordan's last decision with the team, right? Now we're gonna see. This teams him up now, Brandon Miller now with a young Lonzo Ball, and we're gonna see how those two can flow together. Brandon Miller's a hell of a prospect. So we'll see if Brandon Miller fits into and also helps complement LaMelo Ball's style of play. I think that's ultimately what I was going to tell you. Like, can you fit in with Melo? Can you and Melo complement each other? And then obviously the piece of shit guy that beat his wife, I think he comes back too. So we get that duel with the number 2. And that may be a decent squad. Remember, just 2 years ago, Charlotte was in the playoffs, or at least in what's considered postseason play. They missed it this year. They're going to want to come back next year. Last year, they missed it this year, but like I said, they had a lot of turmoil, to say the least, right? Because of their deuces last year. So you can see with an incomplete team, now they feel like, okay, we got a complete team now. We have a high draft pick. We continue this growth process and continue to go upwards. And that's just another team that the New York Knicks may have to worry about. because you had to worry about them the year that you didn't make it. That's the year you made it. That's the year they made it. Now this year comes around, they don't make it, you make it. They're gonna want to try to get back, and you're definitely gonna want to try to get back. Oh, let's see who got the stronger ball. We know they got the strongest shit. Number 3 pick goes to the Blazers, right? And that comes from the G League Ignite, Scoot Henderson, right? The athletic, physical specimen phenom that is Scoot Henderson comes out of G League Ignite. And this transaction starts the Dame Lillard talk. And we're going to see how much time Dame has left in Portland after he's made a couple of mentions. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But Scoot Henderson goes over to Portland that now just spawns a web of alternative stories. Possible trade outs, possible trade ins. Portland is going to have an injury. It's so crazy as I'm looking at this, right? Because now we have a reason to follow San Antonio again this year. But what I just told you about Charlotte, you should at least be intrigued to see how LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller, See, it's so crazy because for the first time his name just registered to me. And as I said his name, some white dude popped into my head. Some white dude center popped into my head. And I'm like, oh shit, there wasn't Brandon Miller before. And I'm like, damn, I just confused it with somebody else? Like, nah, his name is Brandon Miller. I forgot what I was about to say. Right, so we have a reason to follow Brandon Miller in Charlotte. Portland so far, not for the whole year, but until at least the trade deadline, right? Right? Outside of the reason you normally go to follow Portland because of Damian Lillard, right? And everything else. But now this makes Portland intriguing, at least up to the trade deadline, because what's going to happen with Damian Lillard? Or Scoot Henderson? Because something's got to give. I got homes where you hide. I hustle where you live. We'll see what happens there. And then things kind of stop getting. And then things don't get so much interesting after that, right? You get the Thompson twins, right? Not the first set of twins we've seen go to the NBA, but it's the first set of twins that we ever seen go back to back in the NBA. Top five back to back. Because I could have sworn were the Morris twins not back to back picks. Nah, what are a couple of picks apart? Either or, they go 4-5. First is man Thompson going to the Houston, and then we got our Sir Thompson going to Detroit. Both of those guys came from Overtime Elite also. And that kind of runs to the top 5 picks. Anthony Black from Arkansas goes to the Magic. The Pacers and the Wizards did some weird flip-flop, right? Where the Pacers drafted Bilal Coulibaly, right? And then the Wizards drafted Jarvis Walker. But then Bilal was traded to the Wizards, and Jarvis was traded to the Pacers. And Jarvis was on the board when the Pacers was picking. But now with that, they make that swap, and now they spend a bunch of second-round picks. So I'm like, what? I don't get it. Maybe some cash consideration. It had to be something about money. Well, maybe who knows? I have to. This is one of those times where it makes you wonder. Is Indiana? I don't know yet. Is Indiana one of those teams that is privately owned and it's a family? Nah, it's a family business, like the Yankees, like the Lakers. So maybe they need to get out of they need to get away from some financial restraints. That's the reason why they were willing to get that guy drafted at the lower price value, but also at the same time, because of that, send away draft picks. Yeah, this is that was just odd to me. When we get Taylor Hendricks from UCF, he goes to the Jazz, and then number 10 pick we see we see Carson Wallace go to the Mavs, but that gets traded to the Thunder. There was another name I knew I was looking out for, and I have to see. He may not even be in this draft, but I could have swore there were a couple of children in this draft, right? When I say children, I mean children of ball players. Is Jet Howard, Juwan Howard's son? I think so. I think so. Okay. Yep. Okay, so that's one of the names I was looking for. Jet Howard goes with the number 11 pick to Orlando Magic. Jet Howard out of Michigan is Juwan Howard's son. Who else is there? There was somebody else. Now I know San Antonio made a weird move to try to get Wadham Bayou's teammate on his team as well. When I find that, it was a player named Kobe in this draft. Went to the Clippers. Thought that was interesting. Get another Jalen in this draft. Hey, actually, how many new Jalen's did we get in this draft? That's one Jalen. Went to the Lakers from Indiana. Then there's another Jalen drafted by the Pacers. That went to Penn State and ends up getting traded to the Nuggets. Let's see, who else? There was somebody else. Here we go. Imani Bates. That's a name to look out for. And I keep forgetting why he's on my radar. Right? But Imani Bates, he goes to Cleveland. Keep an eye on that name. And I know there's a couple other stories I know I'm missing, like the shootout guy and a couple of other things, but the ESPN make about that. Those aren't my stories. That's their stories. I'm not trying to tell their story. I'm trying to tell his story. So that's the NBA draft. Now, the New York Knicks, as I said, didn't have a pick in the NBA draft, but as you know, the what do you want to call it? Undrafted selections obviously start taking place, and the Knicks, they signed undrafted player Toppins, Jacob Toppins, on a two-way. Now, so they signed Jacob Toppins and Jalen Martin, the two-way deals after the draft. Now, I have to look up who Jacob Toppins is, right? Because I find it funny that now, is Obi's last name Toppin or Toppins? It's Toppin. Is Jacob Toppin related to Obi Toppin? That's what I'm curious about. Let's see if they have any information on him. Excuse me, I need a bio. But I love him already. Is he a small forward or power forward? You gotta be a power forward. Obi's gone. Yo, he has to be related to Obi. Yeah, holy shit. Okay, so now I'm looking at him like, wait a minute, I can see it. Okay. This would be fucked up if they drafted Obi's brother to sign him and to send him and his brother away. But he was another 6'9" forward, and he went to Kentucky. So there goes them fulfilling a blue blood obligation that they always like to do in this regime. And for some odd reason, catering to Obi Toppin, who's not for nothing. Right? As let's move on from NBA transactions. No. We need to get to NBA transactions. Let's move into some NBA rumors. All right, where there was recently an audio released of Obi Toppin and Coach Tibbs getting into it after a playoff loss to Miami, right? And it was one of those games where Obi Toppin had a great first half and then didn't get played in the second half, and you hear Obi in the audio going, "Yo, Tibbs, what the fuck is wrong with you?" Like, "Yo, Tibbs." Now, think about it. He's a New Yorker, right? It's so funny. As I was piecing together the Jacob Toppin thing, right? I was thinking to myself, like, damn, he's from Brooklyn, New York, too? And I was like, nah, that's too much of a coincidence, because Obi's from Brooklyn. I started looking close. I'm like, yo, he got Obi's face. Like, when one of these pictures, I can see a variation of Obi's face. And then, no doubt, Jacob related to Obi. At first, I was going to find it fucked up if they draft another person named Toppin just to go ahead and send him out the door in a trade for one of the rumors we will talk about later. But so we hear audio come out about Obi Toppin and Tibbs getting into it about his playing time after the loss. And if this is the organization's way of saying, "Yo, my bad," or the organization's way of saying, "We still want you and you're still a part of this team," because it's not often a team goes out of its way to sign your friends or your siblings unless they like you or believe in you. Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? Able to get him and his siblings a spot. I just told you, Victor Wembanyama, one of his teammates got signed. Like, San Antonio went out their way to sign one of his teammates to the team. That's because it's his teammate. Who else has there been in the past? There's other examples in the past. There's probably more. This is probably the latest. So, there's others. There's even been others with the Knicks, if I'm not mistaken. Right. So I look forward to it. And nothing major. He's signed on a 2-way contract. He'll start with the Westchester Knicks. We'll probably see him in Summer League. And we'll see how this 205-pound forward from Brooklyn, New York plays. And just think about this. It's going to have to start opening us up for something. There are way too many rumors now that are surrounding the New York Knicks and with one particular person in particular lately, right? And it isn't just lately. I've purposely not mentioned his name before because when I've mentioned it before, it never made sense to me. But it just kept on being mentioned. And then we get Julius Randle going on Paul George's podcast. And then his name pops back up again. And then you start realizing that Paul George and Julius Randle have a relationship. They're friends. They're cool. You even hear Julius Randle on there like, yo, he realized I play better with other people, with other great players. Good players, great players. Meaning that so far, the people that he had on the team were either not good or too much of a neophyte to show him that they were worth getting that ball. But Jalen Brunson has been. Jalen Brunson has made his life easy. This is his words, not mine. So that lets me know that not only do we still need another piece, we still need another piece that Julius Randle could fall behind in. Whatever piece comes in, can't be worse than Julius Randle. Julius Randle is the bar. I know it's weird to say, but believe it or not, Julius Randle is the bar. And Julius Randle will not get enough credit for what he's done with the New York Knicks. And I want to make sure that I go ahead and I give him his flowers and I give him his roses right now. Because Julius Randle will never get enough credit for what he's done with the New York Knicks. All right, I that one little interview, you and this is why you listen to these things, because you want to learn about your players. One of the things I learned, Julius Randle needs good players around him. One of the things I learned is Julius Randle is learning how to be a star. This is the first time that Julius Randle has been in the role of key guy. So before now, dribble, spin move, pump fake, bully ball worked as a unthought of number 3, unthought of number 4, unthought of number 5, unthought of neophyte. Like, these moves worked early. And then he admits it. Second year, end of this playoff started coming around. Tape starts coming out on you. Film starts coming out on you. People are now studying you. And now that spin move, there's somebody there on that weak side. That pump fake, there's now a defender. There's now a defender below you swiping at the ball when you bring it down to your knees. They are now working all your tendencies against you. Had to adjust for that. Wasn't used to that. That became frustrated. Never seen that before. Because that was his second year as the guy. Third year. Looks kind of like the first year. But you see some of the glimpses of the second year. Which means you ultimately, what you are seeing is a learning curve and a learning process. And him learning better than the second year, but not as good as the first year still. Made adjustments from the second year, but still learning that you need to make adjustments to those adjustments still. Appreciating having another star come in there and being able to take some of this workload off of you and realize how much easier they made the game for you. Being an actual kind of plus-minus guy when it comes to the wins and losses. That's the on-the-court stuff. The off-the-court stuff. The moment Tom Thibodeau came onto the New York Knicks, did everything that they asked for. He has done sorry, I keep forgetting about you guys. Has done everything that the New York Knicks has asked him to do. To become the New York Knicks. But let's call this specifically under Tom Thibodeau's regime, because this is when he got his first full professional. He mentioned never had a coach like Tibbs. Never had a coach as hungry and trying to get to this point into the details as much as Tibbs. People love Tibbs. Players love Tibbs. Players love to play. When they're up by 30 and he's still barking, would they wish he would shut the fuck up? Probably, but maybe he'll shut the fuck up if you guys didn't blow that lead and made it an 8-point game. So you either give him a reason to shut the fuck up in confidence that, yo, we're not gonna blow any lead that we get, so you can relax. But also we're gonna continue to play in these good tendencies that you've taught us, right? Some of these winning tendencies that you taught us, because Tibbs is responsible for this Knicks team's winning tendencies. We saw them the previous year without Tibbs. And we saw them the next year with him. We saw what Vegas thought they were going to be the first year with Tibbs. A 20-something win team. And they blew that out the water. My first official bet that I ever made and cashed out on. So when Julius Randle comes in shape, in the best shape he's ever come into, because not just this regime, but Tibbs requires it because of how he likes to play. Julius Randle answers that bell easily. And while we're talking about this, people need to stop giving Tom Thibodeau this bad rap. Tom Thibodeau doesn't work his team that much more than the franchises we want to model ourselves after. Everybody loves heat culture, right? We wish the Knicks had that kind of foundation. You forget who Tom Thibodeau comes from. He comes from a Pat Riley tree. He comes from a tree of conditioning and in shape. Think about what you need to be when you come to Miami. The kind of condition they require you to be in. The body fat percentage they require you to have. Yeah, nobody complains about Miami. Look at the minutes Jimmy Butler logged in those playoffs. Everybody logged in. Nobody's complaining about Miami. And the minutes that Eric Spoelstra makes you play, and the conditioning that Pat Riley requires you to have. No, it's Tom Thibodeau. Look at that. One injury to Derrick Rose. All of a sudden, he plays his players too hard. Yeah, Derrick Rose ain't complained, and not one player ever complained. You know who complains? Media. And then you know who complains alongside of them? Fans and followers. Without any real knowledge or evidence to bait. Well, look at Derrick Rose. Ever heard Derrick Rose complain? And if you think Tom Thibodeau doesn't feel bad about it, just think that Derrick Rose has had a job every time that Tom Thibodeau has coached. Derrick Rose just finally they just released him from his contract. They had a team option. They just finally released him from his contract. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring him back on a bare minimum. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring him into the front office. Well, not the front office, but they give him a bench spot. I was surprised that Joakim Noah never got a bench spot besides Tom Thibodeau to help him be a big man coach or to be a culture coach. Now let's see if Derrick Rose doing that. I wouldn't be surprised to see Derrick Rose come back and play the role of Giannis Haslam. Just be there to be my culture. This is why I want Joakim Noah on every bench right? On every staff that Tom Thibodeau has from now on. You make sure that Derrick Rose has that very last bench spot for $250,000 or whatever the bare minimum is. $450,000, $1.2 million, whatever it is. And you give Joakim Noah a bullshit coaching position. And that's how Tom Thibodeau builds up his keeps his culture the remaining time that he ever coaches. I said this in the very beginning. Tom Thibodeau needs to get re-signed probably this year. You don't want him being a lame duck coach. Tom Thibodeau needs to get needs to get signed for 6 more years. And which is basically a 5-year extension. And what it does is it lets players know what the Knicks are going to be about and what their culture is going to be for the next 10 years. It's Tom Thibodeau has helped create this culture so far and his new level of accountability, this new version of the New York Knicks. But that foundation still isn't dry yet. You sign him to a 6-year deal, it dries. Or if you bring in a guy like Tyronn Lue in here, it dries a little bit slower, but it will get dry and elevated. You bring in a guy like Bob Myers in here, now we're building condos for retail. Sustainability in our foundation. So I'll be interested to see what they do with Tom Thibodeau. But again, Julius Randle will not get enough credit for what he has done with the New York Knicks. Even with this ankle injury, playing with the bad ankle, that he had to get surgery in the offseason, making sure that he gets his surgery done as soon as possible. Too often in the past, we have seen this surgery get delayed, and we've wondered why this person didn't get it done sooner. And now all of a sudden, We're 3 months into the season and they're still recovering for something they could have taken care of as soon as the season ended. We've seen this too often. So when I give him credit for it, it's because we've seen the other side, not just as sports fans, as Knicks fans and New Yorkers, as Heat fans and Floridians. Y'all have seen that. So, respect to him for always doing what is right for the organization at every single turn since he's been in Knicks. Now, the thumbs down, he quickly learned from that. That's not the right thing to do. The blowing up on his teammate, he called it being a little overpassionate, which if the teammates follow you as that guy and he comes from the Mamba school of hard knocks for a couple of years, then I can understand that being his reaction. Is he Kobe? No, but I can understand him having some of Kobe's mannerisms rub off on him. And maybe even some of the ones that we may shun against unless you're a champion at times. So like I said, he won't get enough credit, but even though I'm highly critical of his game, his last interview with Paul George made me kind of understand the maturation of what we're seeing in his game. And understanding that our frustration with him is also his same frustration within himself. And even the fact that it's there and he's aware of it and aware that it's so that needs to be approved on. Yeah, I gotta constantly make sure that there may be a turning of the tides for Julius Randle. Maybe he gets too much shit because he's not our own, but then we love Jalen Brunson immediately. Jalen Brunson did nothing different than what Julius Randle did his first year. Did nothing different. What happens if next year all of a sudden Jalen Brunson has a decline? What if Jalen Brunson, now the tape is out on Jalen Brunson? What if he takes a step back? We're gonna give him the Julius Randle treatment, or you gonna understand that this is now his second year now as the guy or one of the key guys, and now it's time for the tape to come out on him of his tendencies, of his idiosyncrasies, right? Of his poor tendencies at that. What if that starts now getting exploited? What's going to happen then? What's going to happen is that now we're going to need that third guy to step up. I don't care if it's Josh Hart. I don't care if it's Quentin Grimes. I don't care if it's RJ freaking Barrett. I don't care if it's Obi Toppin off the bench for 6 men of the year. It's going to one of them have to step up. Now, the thing that makes me wonder about Obi Toppin's future is not just because he had the altercation with his coach, but the fact that Paul George and Julius Randle seem so chummy, right? Like a big bro, little bro kind of thing, right? I learned how to watch tape from you. So he didn't call Paul George his GOAT, but I didn't even realize that Paul George was so respected in the league. And it's just because listen, I've heard respect. I've had a high level of respect for Paul George, right? From a lot of different places, right? Some even call him the prototype of the prototypical basketball player, the prototype of the kind of basketball player that you want to get. That's Paul George. And listen, not for nothing. That's basically the prototype everybody puts up and tries to make in 2K to give themselves an advantage in rec and in the park. Shit, it's the architect that I finally gave into after playing 5 seasons with my 6'5" shooting guard I was like, yo, I'm tired of getting bullied in the rec. Got a 6'5" guy that plays like Donovan Mitchell. I'm like, no, Paul George. Oh man, Rudy Gay, who recently got traded to Atlanta for John Collins. Like, tell me you just wanted to get rid of somebody without telling me you just wanted to get rid of somebody. LSU defeats Florida, right, for the World Series championship. Is this a 3-game series? Are they the champions? Yep. So they beat them 18-4 in Game 3 of the Men's College World Series Finals to win the program's 7th NCAA championship. Shoot, I think Florida, listen, because I think Florida, the game before that, blew them out 26-4. So the fact that LSU came back and gave that right back to them. Ooh. Whoa. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Where's my Grammy? Whoa. Back to me. I don't know what happened here. I started going live sometime on the gram. Then I just do that a while ago when I decided that I wanted to check on one of these messages. Where were we? Transactions and rumors. So the Paul George to New York thing is starting to look a little bit more like a possibility. I'm not a fan of it because what I assume, right? It's so weird because when I'm seeing all of these guys, right? I'm seeing all of these players getting moved for nothing. John Collins moved for nothing. Chris Paul moved for nothing. Bradley Beal moved for nothing. Kristaps Porzingis moved for nothing. When I see all of these players basically get traded for nothing, I'm like, damn, why is it when I heard the New York Knicks name in all of these conversations, it was always revolved around, well, we're going to need at least 2 of your last first-round picks, so either Obi Toppin and RJ, or RJ and Grimes, or Grimes and Obi, or Obi and, like at least 2 of our last first-round picks, and 2 future picks. Like, the fuck? Why is it every time I hear the Knicks name around it, it's so damn high, but yet when the transaction goes through, I'm like, that's all it took? And that's for like the last 3 years. I don't understand. I understand. Like they keep trying to fleece the Knicks, and maybe that's why the Knicks aren't doing anything. Because teams, the value that they keep trying to put on these trades when it comes to talking to the Knicks, and the Knicks are like, nah, I don't believe it's worth that much. And then what they actually end up getting for it sounds like a little bit more realistic what the Knicks were really willing to give up, which would be Fournier, maybe a first-round pick and a second-round pick. Fournier, Derrick Rose. You understand? Like, maybe 1 out of the 4 first-round picks. Not 2. It's Quentin Grimes or RJ Barrett. And it's probably looking like Quentin Grimes. So, if the Knicks get Paul George, it's so weird because I feel like it's probably going to take probably a couple of first-round picks. Let's start there. Let's start 2 first-round picks. And that's because if you're at LA, you're trying to get some first-round picks back because you're like Phoenix right now. I think is it Phoenix? It doesn't have a first-round pick till like 2031, right? So you were kind of like them, where you don't have a first-round pick for a very long time. So if you can get at least a couple of first-round picks back, if you don't use them to draft with, you can do what you did anyway, use them to trade with. And try to bring another player that Kawhi Leonard believes that he can play with to try to win a championship. Even though this Kawhi Leonard thing may be over. So, in my head, I keep hearing two names being talked about to the New York Knicks. Cat Williams and Paul George. And we know Cat Williams is not going to work. If Cat Williams comes to New York, then Tyronn Lue must be coming to New York as well. Because Cat Williams is not a Tom Thibodeau guy. And maybe Ty Lue can get through to him a little bit better. But I don't see Cat Williams. But what if Cat Williams is part of a 3-team trade that sends Cat to the Clippers, right? It sends Paul George to the Knicks, and Minnesota, who's already a young team, you send Obi Toppin, his brother Toppin, maybe a first, maybe a second. Maybe a first and 2 seconds. You have Minnesota and LA split it up. Maybe the first round pick and maybe the 2 first go to Minnesota. Right? I mean, go to LA. But let's look out for that. We're gonna make sure we put that one in the books. That's one I'm actually thinking about because I just keep hearing their names too often, and I feel like there's a changing of the guard happening in Minnesota. And if Karl-Anthony Towns is going to change the game, he's not changing the game in Minnesota. So maybe he needs to get to a big city, but a big city where he's the little bro team, so he doesn't have to worry about the overextended media coverage. And then it leaves Steve Ballmer with still a star, some kind of star, a star by name at least, that you can possibly sell as a marquee to open up your new stadium with. Because you have to figure that's what they're looking towards. I think we already tried Paul George in Portland, I think. So I don't think that's part of the trade. Right? You send Scoot over to LA, right? Paul George comes over. Maybe there still needs to be somebody else in the trade. Who knows? Karl-Anthony Towns, again. But a 3-team trade, Karl-Anthony Towns, Paul George, and LA and the New York Knicks, may can happen. Like I said, I hear Karl-Anthony Towns' name tied to the New York Knicks way too often. Like I say, I can't keep ignoring it. Because I ignored Paul George. I hear Paul George's name, he was tied to the New York Knicks way too often. If their names are being tied to the Knicks this often for trade, I know the Knicks like to get, I know that organizations and agents like to use New York as trade leverage. It used to be just out of pure stupidity that, the New York Knicks will get it, and they'll overpay for it. Blah, blah. Knicks ain't about that anymore. They're a different team. And we're going to take a break. We're going to come to the last hour of the podcast, and we'll continue here.
They didn't join this team.
Whoa! My people on Podbean that's listening, right through the Podbean calling line. The show's not over. There's a new feed. There's a new live feed waiting for you guys. I have to end this one. If you've been in Podbean before, if you're first time on Podbean, we have a room time limit here for the calling line. So I just have to go ahead and get this reset. Once we get this reset, you'll have another room ready for you guys. So the show isn't over. We're just going to commercial. So when you hear this end, just go ahead and find the new room, and you guys will be set. Everybody else, enjoy this commercial.
They didn't join this team to win championships or become famous. They joined because there is important work to be done, and only some able to do it. They are bright
You know what?
Flash.
Cut.
The only contract they sign is with themselves and their country. They didn't join this team to win championships or become famous. They joined because there is important work to be done, and only some able to do it. They are brighter, better educated, led, and equipped than any team in history. They are doctors, lawyers, engineers, technologists, and combat troops, all prepared for whatever comes their way. You'll find them where the lights don't flash, and the only contract they sign is with themselves and their country. One day, they may be asked what they did to make a difference in this world, and they can respond, I became a soldier.
Did I end it already? Damn. That was too quick. You know what, podbean people? I apologize. I apologize, y'all, because you know what happened? I realized I don't want to do it. I'm not going to give you another hour to the show. So I didn't need to end the podbean feed. Like, I could have just gave them the last 5 minutes of the show that they needed to and call it a wrap. So let's continue with the rumors. Knicks rumors. I believe Paul, I don't want to believe it. And I understand why everybody's concerned. So let's start with I don't want to go deep into it yet, actually. Let's finish off deep into this then. We'll talk about any other rumor. We'll talk about all of the rumors on Wednesday. We still got to talk about the Jew interview. And if you didn't see the Courtney Vandersloot shot or that last New York Liberty game last night, then you definitely missed something. We're going to get into NBA transactions when we come back on Monday. We come back on Wednesday. We have a lot of Listen, NBA free agency is right around the corner. NBA draft just finished. There's a lot of transactions about to start happening. We've already seen some start to take place. We're gonna go over a couple of those and whatever transaction those are. But let's finish off with this rumor, right? That's not even about Dylan Brooks to Milwaukee. That's not even one of them. But I ignored Paul George. I really did. I ignored the Paul George rumors. I ignored Karl Anthony Towns because it just makes no sense while Tom Thibodeau was still here. So that lets me know that so now I'm under big belief that Karl Anthony Towns is probably definitely going to get traded. Paul George too. The relationship that Karl Anthony Towns has with Tom Thibodeau makes me not believe he's going to be here. But if the rumors keep picking up, then that lets me know that Tom Thibodeau's out the door. And then again, I can't ignore the big brother, little brother relation that Paul George has with Julius Randle and how they can learn from each other and even be a better option together, right? And if you don't send Obi Toppins in the trade, then it's probably going to be one of these guards. These are going to be R.J. Barrett or Obi or Quentin Grimes, and I'm pretty sure they like to be Quentin Grimes and Obi if they're going to have to give up two guys. And then you slide Obi Toppin's brother in here later on. I said, like, Obi gets to go play with a young squad in Minnesota. He actually gets some playing minutes. He gets the playing time with Karl Anthony Towns, and we get to see what he can do with another young kind of up tempo team. And let's see if he can put up that 20-something, or is he going to go through the same learning curve that Julian? He's going to have a good year, maybe a good half a year. Next year, he's going to kind of struggle as people start to put tape on him. And then let's see what that third year turns into, because that third year is going to be the year of consistency when we really find out about you. Because now the tape is really there. Can you adjust to all these adjustments that they've been making for you and keep making adjustments? The issue with Paul George that Tom Thibodeau isn't a load management kind of guy, but he kind of is sometimes. Because we've seen him load manage Derrick Rose, so we know he's not a big fan of load management. What are we going to get from Paul George? Like a lot of these trades that have been made, so far. A lot of the names that have been traded for so far. Bradley Beal, Tingus Pingus, the rumors around Paul George. All these guys are injury prone. So it's not the fact that you don't want Paul George. It's that if you and what happens with the scenario is that you get Paul George, and Paul George is everything that you needed, everything that you wanted. What if Paul George is that missing link that we've been looking for? But then we don't have Paul George when we need him the most, and that's the fear. That you get him, and for 46 games, like I talked about Kristaps Porzingis, he looks phenomenal. He makes the New York Knicks look unstoppable as long as he is in the lineup and playing like he's supposed to and healthy. And that "and if healthy" statement that you having to keep adding at so many players' name, after so many players' name, that's the portion that makes them unreliable. That's the portion that scares you. That's the portion that makes me not worried about Boston. That's the portion that makes me look at Phoenix and be like, Kevin Durant's gonna fail again. So we'll see what happens in free agency. Free agency opens up in less than a week. Less than a week? Hold on. Let's make sure we get this date here for you. I think it's next week sometime. I can't remember if it's next week, Tuesday. NBA free agency. I want you to put the fucking date on there. But okay, let's put this back up. NBA free agency date. June 30th. We're 4 days away. It's this Friday. That's just why we also went the last 4 episodes of the podcast. We got Wednesday. We got Friday. And Monday. Last 3 episodes of the podcast. This is the 4th one. These are the Monday right before 4th of July. Let's pull the date. Monday, July 3rd. Last podcast of the season. And we will return, let you guys know, so I can start letting you guys know about this. Either September 5th or September 12th. Sorry, September 6th or September 13th. You know, I like to come in on a Wednesday. Like, fuck a Monday. Normally that Monday or so, damn, maybe even that Wednesday, I may be doing my draft. That's probably going to end up happening. That Wednesday, I end up doing a draft and trying to do a podcast at the same time. I fail at both of them every single year. So, yeah, right around that time is going to be the start of the podcast. I should come in September 30th. August 30th, to be honest with you. So, we'll see. We'll keep you guys posted. Follow me on social media. And as you guys know, I'll do a pop-up podcast. I can't keep all of this like tucked in the whole entire time. No, it's gonna end up hanging out eventually. But Knicks fans, keep an eye on this. Actually, just fans, period. Keep an eye on Karl Anthony Towns' movement. Keep an eye on possible Paul George. Like I said, it's just the fear of him. I don't want to have Paul George, right, for 30 games at the beginning of the season. We go 22-8. Then we lose him, right? And then we play 500 ball. Then then he comes back again, like at the end of the season, like towards the middle, whatever portion of the season, and he's playing well for a while, right? What I give him 30 games there, so he goes another 16 games he finally comes back for. Right? I'm serious. 46 games is what I'm giving him. So he plays like 30. I don't know. Let's say he's out for 20. So now we're at game 50, right? He comes back for the other 16 games, gets us out to game 66. Right? In those 16 games he comes back, we look great. We go 12-4. Right? 13-3. Something like that. Then something crazy happens again and he goes down, and next thing you know, this time he's going through the end of the season and now the playoffs. Or he tries to come back in the playoffs and he's not fully himself. And that winning ratio that we were getting from him, 22-8, 13-3, 12-4, we're not getting that from him anymore. Right? Now he's giving us 50% to below 50%, and yeah. So it all depends on how it looks. Maybe, just maybe, a Paul George at 75% is better than anything that RJ Barrett or Quentin Grimes is at 100%. I wouldn't mind Paul George in the locker room. It's going to be frustrating, but also we don't want him in the locker room because I want him with an RJ Barrett as well. I want him with a Quentin Grimes as well, if they're still on the team. Most likely, I'm thinking it's going to be RJ. RJ, who I heard grew an extra 2 to 3 inches over the summer. So he went from being 6'6" to 6'8", 6'9" now. Let's see what happens with his new official measurement. Could have been the sneakers. Who knew? Like, who knows? But this is the off season that we have to look forward to, not just as Knicks fans, to NBA fans. As free agency opens up right around the corner, the rumors are starting to spread. Moves are starting to be made already. And we're going to see what starts happening in this free agency frenzy that we have. But this off-season frenzy that we're about to have. With free agency started right around the corner, the summer league. And now we get a chance to take a look at Victor, What About Your Mama, and all of these other young prospects. Get a chance to look at Scoop. Get a chance to look at the Henderson twins. Get to see Brandon Miller. Get to see Bomani. Not Bomani. What was his name? Who I was looking for? Iman Bates. Right? To see him. Still don't know why Manny Bates is on my radar. I still don't know why Imani Bates is on my radar, but I know he is. I forget. I want to see Obi Toppin's little brother play as well. I want to see all of that. And that's right around the corner. Unfortunately, by the time that starts, though, we won't be here doing this podcast. We'll just be watching as a fan finally. Like, I don't got to sit. I don't got to talk about it. I don't got to be about it. But I'm telling you right now, let something phenomenal happen. Let a Paul George trade goes down to the Knicks. Let anything happen with the New York Knicks or the Miami Heat, and I'll be here. Let's just put it that way. Let any kind of news happen with the New York Knicks or the Miami Heat, and I will be here. When we come back on Wednesday, we're going to talk heavily into the Miami Heat and how these rumors, right, and some of these transactions already started and this draft has really affected what they're doing. As when the third pick was made in the NBA draft, I thought I heard a couple of pots and pans clanging in South Florida. I may be mistaken. We'll talk about that when we come back next time on the MyT Sports Podcast. I am your host, the one and only Dollar Taylor, a.k.a. the Motor Mouth of the South. This is the MyT Sports Podcast. You are out of here. And we are out of here. And don't forget, when the hate don't work, they start telling lies. Accountability. I think that's not a friendship. I don't know. my goodness. Your boy is wilding. What's wrong with me? Oh, we still here? No, get me off screen.